I don't feel any guilty in admitting that I score 50% and only 60%. It's not a problem. If you're an average student, it's not a problem at all. And education is important, I know that, but some students only grasp that much, and some students score 95% or 100%. It depends on them, the way they study, the environment and everything. It depends on them. I was not into so much of academic area. I was into more of extracurricular activities, like all the extracurricular activities in the school and sports activities. I used to participate in everything. I used to not leave any of the functions or seminars. Everything I used to attend.
Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of podcast series Humans of Mitti Ke Rang. Today we have with us Dega Ramya Tulasi. She is a contributing writer for the Armchair Journal and Critical website. She is a content creator and researcher for Growth Facet Digital Agency. She is a National Secretary for Research and Analysis Unit for the National Youth Council of India. Also, she is the country ambassador from India for Kalinka, which is a Russian organization. And she is the ambassador from India for World Literacy Foundation and Global Wellbeing Action Representative from India for Reimagining Society. On behalf of Mitti Ke Rang, Ramya, I welcome you.
Thank you so much, Diksha, for the warm welcome. It was really great.
Okay, so Ramya, before we start, so let's start the session. My first thing that I would like to know from you is, tell us about yourself and how you got into these organizations.
Yes, good afternoon and good evening, everyone who are watching this. My name is Ramya Tulasi, and you may be not knowing the backstory that I have faced. So I would like to share all my journey till now, because I really think that coming till here was very difficult for me as well. It was a difficult path for me, and I would like to share that because in my 12th there was a turning point. I failed my 12th maths board exams. You heard me right. I failed my 12th. For every student, maths board exams are really very crucial, and I failed them. And that was a really turning point where I looked on that where I was going on and what I want to do in future. Will I have any future or not? So all my relatives, my friends and all the people were back of me that I cannot do anything in life if I don't pass my 12th board exams at least, because as a student I was really an average student, to say. I even now I'm an average student. I don't feel any guilty in admitting that I score 50% and only 60%. It's not a problem. If you're an average student, it's not a problem at all. And education is important, I know that, but some students only grasp that much, and some students score 95% or 100%. It depends on them, the way they study, the environment and everything. It depends on them. I was not into so much of academic area. I was into more of extracurricular activities, like all the extracurricular activities in the school and sports activities. I used to participate in everything. I used to not leave any of the functions or seminars. Everything I used to attend. But the day came when I realized that I was going nowhere, because I had to come out of my fears. Maths was my biggest fear in my 12th standard, which I think so many of the students would be also having because as a student, I know that many of them would also be thinking of, how can a student fail a maths exam? It's true. Sometimes it happens in any of our lives. And then my parents supported me a lot. I had their back, and they told me that in my 12th we had a compartment exam which comes after 2-3 months after we get the results. It will be around in August and September we get the results. So I gave that exam again. In the meanwhile, I met a guru who is known as who is my ultimate guru, I think so, because he changed my life perspective totally. He is suffering from brain tumor since 12 years now, and because of his motivation, his life, and by seeing his achievements, I could understand the pain and come out of my pain at least, and come out with flying colors, I would say. He motivated me a lot. After my parents, I would say he's the one I watch for everything. And when I cleared my maths exam, he was like, come on Ramya, let's have a party. And it brings us happiness that though I just passed my maths exam, it really meant a lot for him and for my parents even. We had a bash party in my home, like celebrating with all the food and cool drinks and stuff with my parents. I really enjoy that because my parents believe that even you should, have a party when you fail or you succeed in your life. That is the most turning points you should remember, and you need to enjoy everything you face in your life. And when I cleared my board exams, I took a 1 year long break because there was no degree college or engineering college. I couldn't even clear my mset or mset even, because I scored very least. I literally scored negative marks in them, I would say. And I was not given admission in any of the colleges. So I thought of taking a break and thinking about my future, that should I be going to engineering or doctor or whichever field I feel. And my interest was on civil services. So I took a long 1 year break. I studied about civil services, how can I pursue it, or how should I go about it, what are the strategies, how can I plan for my future and everything. Then I joined a college, a normal affiliated college of Osmania University in Hyderabad, and I started my civil services preparation from there. Though in civil services it is required that you need to have a strong base on writing skills. And from there my journey of writing started, because I didn't know a single word at least in the vocabulary, because I was so poor in writing, and I didn't even structure a line properly, I would say, in the starting. And when I literally when my professor said that this is not the standard you need to have for a civil service aspirant, I literally thought that I would never do it, because again, this is the second time I faced a really back out, that professor saying that you will never do it. And it gives a kick that I need to prove the professor wrong, that I can do it myself. So I have done a lot of research on writing, like how should I write in question and answers, how should I start the introduction, start the body, formulate it in a structured manner and everything. I really started from the scratch of writing itself, because I had my lecturers, professors guidance in writing. As I was studying in a degree college, those subjects I studied were including the civil services subjects, which are economics, history and public administration. So I had them back guiding me all the time, that how should I write. And after writing, I got to know that one day my professor, who used to teach us the sociology subject in our class, told that one day if you get a chance to publish your work on any platforms, go for it. Don't think of second, don't have any second thoughts on anything, just go for it. So I thought about that deeply, that why can't I publish my writings as well on a websites or anything. So I started searching for the websites, where can I publish my articles or my write-ups. I found out a few websites where they would be taking they are online essay competitions. Like, even for the viewers who are watching, it is a very good platform, that you need to go from the base. If you want to go into writing or graphic designing, any editing field or anything, there are many platforms which give you the base, which where you can find out about your work. There I started, and it slowly turned into a passion of writing. I faced really many backouts, because my many write-ups were rejected because it was not up to the standard, up to the level that they expected. I really thought that I wouldn't make up even one write-up on the platforms, online platforms. But slowly I built up my that 3 years of my degree. I started to build up on the research and content writing part, because that is the main, that should be there for a writer. So I thought that let me have a strong base first, and then I will approach the institutions. Then I could get some positive impact on things that I do. So from there it started, and when I started my post graduation degree, I slowly started consulting the online journals, write up journals, and everywhere. From there I got to know about Armchair Journal, and I talked to them, and I have sent my few write ups, and they thought that it could be improved. Not so that it was up to the mark of their standard, but they told that they would be guiding me and they would be giving comments on my write ups and everything. So it all started from there. Like the organizations I'm tie up with, also I searched, browsed a lot. I met new people in the conferences. I went to conferences in national and international levels which were organized in India. There I met few people, and from there networking I got to know about these organizations. Like that I linked up to these organizations. It was not a one day task, it was whole of a long journey for me as well.
Ramya, I must say that that's quite inspiring because, when we passed our 11 and 12 at that time, before the 10, we used to hear you have to get the 10, then it is a big deal. When we go to 12, then you're like, okay, 10 was done, now you have to get, once 12 is done, it will be all set. So you get that thing, and once you just get a roadblock, and to move forward from them, it takes a lot of self-confidence also, because then you start somewhere fearing like, okay, if they have done and I was not able to do, what I'm gonna do. So if a fear starts developing, so Ramya, how you conquered your fear, like how you overcame that?
Yes, fear is the big barrier, I would say, for every one of us, because every one of us will have one or the other fear, maybe academics, or maybe stage fear, or some other speaking fear, or something else. But breaking that is a big challenge for us. For me, it was bigger than that, because I was actually literally an average student, and for me, breaking even maths exam was difficult. You know how I literally I don't know how did I even pass it out. Actually, my lecturers would actually say that you even did not pass your 12th. How come? Like, how come a student couldn't pass a 12th maths exam? It was shocking for everyone to know, but that is the truth. I cannot do anything with that. But the fear was that regarding my maths exam, maybe the schooling was it was a copy paste thing for me in my tuition and college school, because whatever they used to keep on the board, I used to just copy it down to my notes. That happens in the school usually. So I didn't practice more on my mathematics and everything. But later on, when I have to take the second exam, I had done a lot of practice and lot of sessions and lot of mock test for that I have done it, because I have not done it in the first time. But breaking the fear is very important, so that you know that you will come out of your comfort zone then only. uh, Fear is like you are in the four walls of your comfort zone, because you are comfortable in the place you are there. If you are trying to come with a new ideas, or you want to take out the fear of speaking skills. Many I would say one example. In my degree college, we had an English sir who used to just give 5 or 10 minutes in the starting of the class, and give the mic and tell the students that whatever you want to speak, come and speak on the stage. So that students get inculcated with the thing of coming on the stage and showing up for their self, and for inculcating that there is no kind of stage fear for them. I was the first person who used to go out and speak blah blah blah, whatever comes to my mind. Some days I don't even know what would I speak on the stage itself. But that is needed actually. If you don't know what you're speaking, just go there and speak. That is the main thing. You have stepped out than others, you are one foot ahead. So that is the thing that is needed. So you need to take up that courage. Maybe you may have internal motivation, or your parents, your friends, there may be the external support for you. But if you don't take the first step, then it will not work out. Because I had my many friends who have the fear of stage fear, or speaking skills, English or Hindi maybe. I told them to come out and speak with me, or speak on the stage, just a 40 to 50 students, or even 10 to 5 students maybe. But they used to not come out because of that fear. Though how much time I have pushed them to go and speak, but that should come from themselves, that I need to take this fear out from me. It is not to be carried on for a lifelong journey. I need to get out and explore myself. So that should be a inner motivation of yours, that people should be aware of this, that we need to take this along, the wall of fears from the life. That should be the main motivation. That's why I could do it. And now still I have some fears in me, so I'm slowly coming out of that as well, because every stage of our life has some or the other pressure, fears, and everything. So slowly we need to learn. It's a lifelong journey to learn.
Okay, so also I can relate to your journey, like when you say that your teacher used to tell, because I still remember I was in class 2 when I spoke in my morning assembly with a full crowd of around 1,000 students and with the teachers, and that was my first uh, stage speaking. I will say that I first spoke in the mic to a huge audience. So, and I also feel that once you break a fear of a certain thing, then to break the fears of other domains, it becomes a bit easier, because then you get like, yes, if I have done that, I can do that also, because I know how to do it. And also, you said one thing, that while writing the journals and everything, many a times you were rejected and you were said that this is not the level we wanted. So it's very obvious for someone to feel very low and very less motivated. How you kept yourself motivated, like abhi nahi hua, we will go for the next time and we will try again and we will crack it. How you kept that motivation?
Yes, for me, this came from my parents. I would say I have inherited this intrinsic motivation from my both parents. From my mother, she has a much patience level in her. Though all the mothers have this patience level, we need to learn from them. And every mother has this, and even my mother had a lot of patience level, and I slowly learned how to be patient and how to be calm in the pressure, in the level of pressure we have as well. When there is a lot of, there were situations when suddenly guests used to come to our home and there was nothing to cook and nothing to feed them with, and my mother just brings out something or the other, makes something, and creates something, and she feeds with that. So it's kind of a patience level and the mind that she has in that presence of movement. So that I inculcated with her. And my father is a state government employee. He's a assistant excise superintendent for prohibition and excise department. He has already the motivation of nation building and nation creation, all the things in mind. So we have a friendly chat. I and my father usually have a friendly chat. He tells me about his life story, because he began his life in a small hut. They were really very poor. His family was really very poor. They had no electricity in their village, and they have slowly come out to the city for studies, and then they have come out for competitive exams. How did they prepare? What were the situations they faced? And all those things really motivated me a lot, because my father's life stories are my building steps, I would say. Because every night, I lie on my father's hand, and we just have a small sweet chat of his life and my life, and how to conquer these fears. And I would also say that I have so much of these pressures and everything. How should I used to ask his guidance as well, because without parents guidance, because they have more experience than us, so we need to learn from them as well. So they have guided me very well in these all days. And even my friends, they supported me. That they firstly, they did not support me, I would frankly say that, because some of our friends will not support, because अरे ये क्या कर लेगी, छोड़ दे. They say usually things after we doing something and coming up with a bright colors out. They then say अरे मुझे पता था तू कर लेगी. So it happens, these all things happens in life. And now all my friends support me well, and I have their back. They chat with me every day. They're telling me that you are an inspiration for me. And I get messages from many strangers that your story is an inspiration for me. I would also like to work as you are determined to work. And that's really great. For me, coming out with this story was also difficult, because firstly I thought that if people hear that I have failed my 12th standard, they would judge me on that. And but my parents said that it's okay to be a failure, it's okay to fail in any you may fail in whole of your life also, it's fine, but you need to learn from your failures. Every failure you need to learn something. So I learned a lot from my first failure, that maths is not a subject that should be fear of. So I have taken MA financial economics in my post graduation, which is like maths is also included in my economics subject. So I kind of thought that, not to distract myself of thinking that maths is a subject that I cannot deal with. So I have included that in my post graduation as well. So now am sort of familiar with it, so I don't fear much of it. So it's like that, you need to tackle your fears in that way. And my parents, my lecturers, my teachers, my friends all supported me. And firstly I would say that no one will be supporting you when you start your something initiative, or you fail something or you face a drastic failure. But later on, when you get up and you say that I can do it, then only people will be start will start acknowledging your efforts. I would say first you start it, and then you ask people to do it. Until you start, there is nothing that can happen.
Wow, Ramya, like after hearing her story, the one quotation that fits perfectly is failure is the stepping stone of success. Like you have lived through that quotation, I must say that. So, moving forward, after hearing all the your story and where you are working, so our audience will be curious like how you have joined. So I would like you to tell our audience like if they want to join any of the organizations that you are working with, how they can join and what's the process and everything.
Yes. All the organizations I'm working for, they are open for the youth to join, and it's not impossible for you guys to join as well. You can, because we all are on the same age gap, and we would like to see a changing future ahead. We would like to be the next change makers. So many people would be thinking that how can I join these organizations and all. So I would like to guide them in a manner. I work with the Vertical website and Armchair Journal as a writer. So if you like to write for the journal, you can also apply to be a writer, contributing writer. You can go to the Armchair Journal page, and you can apply there as well. In the Vertical also, if I approached the Vertical website after I have contributed around 10 to 15 articles, because they needed a someone experienced writer for their write up. So I approached them after I having a strong base. So if you are a starter in the start, if you are in the starting point in the writing, so please start with Armchair Journal. And even in the Armchair Journal nowadays, we have started with the campus ambassador programs. Like students can also join, like who don't want to write, who just want to write a limited, articles like one or two and publish them and see their ability to write, and also promote it on social medias or in their areas. Campus ambassadors literally do the promoting of the journals. So we have opened them as well. They are also on the website. You can go on the Armchair Journal website and register. I'm actually mentoring the Armchair Journal companions, which are ambassadors, like mentoring them in how to market the journal, and we are looking into that as well with my co-friend in the journal. So it's kind of easy if you want to start your writing skills and explore if you can write or not. And I'm also working with the National Youth Council of India as a national secretary for research and analysis unit. So according to my writing, I was selected as a national secretary because I was well equipped with the research and writing skills. So if you are not interested in writing, and if you want to work in the social field, social service field, like helping the other people who want to reach to any level, like you can work with them. You can apply in the National Youth Council of India portal. There is uh, like state-wise openings for each state. There are state presidents, district presidents, and regional level, mandal level presidents, and all of them will be working together on any of the issues. Like in their area, there will be some water problem. So you guys can come together and come with a solution, and you can present it to the district collector saying that from National Youth Council of India members we are so and so, so we would like to propose for a solution. So you guys can also contribute yourself in terms of social services. So there is nothing that cannot be done, because a small help for your community can do a lot, for your community, for India as well. It only starts from a small step. You just need to take one step ahead from others to make a change. And if you I'm also working with the Kalinka group of organization, which is a Russian organization. I came across this when I was searching on the Facebook pages, literally, because nowadays we have many Facebook pages, many youth groups of Facebook pages. So like that, I found out this page, and there are around 50 to 60 country ambassadors now we have covered, and soon we will be organizing a international youth conference in Russia as well. We are planning for it. Kalinka is planning for a international youth conference. So if you would like to be part of, a nation building from your country, like I'm from India, and there are four other co-members from India as well, so you can also be part. That's not a big issue as well. So you can just go to Kalinka group Facebook page and contact the member there, and you can tell him about your work, about your contribution you want to do to the society, and why do you want to be a part of this organization. So they will definitely consider you, and I assure of that. If you are not sure, if you have any problem, you can just contact me anytime. I don't have any problem. If anyone wants my help in any way, I would be definitely happy to give my services, my help to anyone. And coming to reimagining society, I'm representing as a global action representative. We work on the well-being of people. Like now, recently we have conducted 3 webinars, which are media literacy, suicide prevention, and unemployment. So these are all the, before we have conducted even one more, which is on Yemen, situation of the Yemen people, because Yemen is a country which has no voice now in the world, which is not heard of. So we are bringing out some of the very pressing issues that needs to be addressed. And these are all the well-being matters that we believe that well-being is a very important part of our life. Even the economic, financial, mental, everything. Nowadays we are facing the mental things that our mental health is very drastically affected because of all the things happening. Maybe Sushant Singh Rajput's case, or UGC net versus central government for final year exams. Even I'm facing some of the issues that I don't know when will be my final year exam, so I have so much of pressure in me as well. So it's definitely normal for us to face these pressure, failures, and everything in our life. So we need to just all these organizations are a helping hand for any sustainable development goal, or any terms of coming out of with a solution, with a sustainable solution. Because all the young minds from different countries, different states are on one platform now, finding out the solutions. So by 2030, I would definitely say that these youth will create a definitely better future than now. So if you want to be part of these organizations, you can just contact me, or contact the following that I have mentioned above.
Okay, Ramya. So, as you mentioned about the SDGs, so I would like to know more from you about the SDGs, like how it is happening in India and what are the different SDGs, and if someone wants to contribute to that, how can someone do that? Tell us more about it.
Yes, usually Sustainable Development Goals (SDG) are the goals which are adopted by the United Nations member states in 2015 as a universal call to end poverty, or end climate change, or ensure the people enjoy peace and prosperity by 2030. These are the goals for 2030. So there are 17 sustainable development goals, which are like no poverty, zero hunger, quality education, good health and well-being, clean water and sanitation, gender equality, decent work and economic growth, affordable and clean energy, reduce inequalities, industry innovation and infrastructure, responsible consumption and production, sustainable cities and communities, climate action, life below water, peace, justice, and strong institutions, life on land, partnership for the goals. So these are the 17, sustainable development goals. And I would say that all the 17 sustainable goals are related to our life in one or the other way. We are all connected to all the 17 sustainable development goals, because if we see, quality education. Now India has bought the new education policy, as we know, education policy 2020. So this contributes to the quality education, because that education policy has brought so many changes for the education of the India. And there are a lot of curriculum, extracurricular activities, and internships, projects added into the early stages of education system. So that also contributes to the quality education. And and even in the good health and well-being sector of sustainable development goals, if we see, now this COVID pandemic has come out, and each state is doing their best to contribute in terms of financial, or even our Madras University, where I study my post graduation, we heard that our hostel is being transformed into a COVID center for to help the COVID patients in Tamil Nadu. So this is a kind of help that states provide in terms of good health and well-being, sustainable development goal as well. So one or the other way, we are connected with these sustainable development goals. And I would say, if you Indian government is doing a lot in these, in doing, contributing itself into sustainable development goals. We have Swachh Bharat mission for the clean India, make in India, made in India. So, and also for to reduce inequalities and gender justice. In the recent time, we heard that Assam armed forces have, where women Assam armed forces has been included in terms of in the border of India and China. So there we can see that even women are in combating the army forces and everything. So even Indian government is doing it, and even as individuals and organizations, civil society members, we are also contributing to sustainable development goals one or the other day. I have my friend who is Vivek Gaurav, founder of Pune Bloggers, and he's doing a lot of work regarding the environment. They do the plogging, which is called the by jogging you can pick up the trash, and that is again recycled, reused, and repurposed for the materials that are collected while doing jogging. So it is kind of one way that that his organization and the volunteers working under him are contributing to sustainable development goals. And even I am doing the same in my home. If you can you see this? So yeah, this is a small container of plastic. So I turned it into a pen stand. So you can use such kind of household materials and turn them into reusable things. Oh, you do have it. Nice. See, you're contributing in one way to the sustainable development goals. So this is the way I'm saying that we are all connected to sustainable development goals. So one or the other way we are contributing. So don't need to worry that we are not part of contribution of our nation, because all these plastics or the materials that are household which are going into trash, we are using them. So that is a kind of contribution for our nation. So be proud of it, I would say. It's nothing to be ashamed of doing. It's actually a thing that we need to do now. We need to start from our home, then we need to do it in our societies, then into communities, then into national and state levels, then in international levels. So it's kind of a transformation that is needed. So yes, sustainable development goals are very, very important in our life.
Okay, so Ramya, being the National Secretary of Youth, National Youth Council, and other organizations where you are quite related with the SDGs, what you think? What's your take on the SDGs condition, or how far you think the SDGs have succeeded in India, and how far it can succeed? What's your take on that?
Yes. Though, as I have, studied the sustainable development goals in my research, as in my writings as well, as a background researching and everything. So there are many communities that are contributing in it, and we can see the future of sustainable India or sustainable societies, because every one of us is in one or the other way connected to all the sustainable development goals, and even government of India is working well on it. Though we all think that there are many loopholes in the government proceedings, or doing justice or something else, but one or the other, that is all the other side of the coin. The one side of the coin we can look in positive way is that yes, we are contributing ourselves into sustainable development goals. Government is also doing, even the individual members, like I said, Vivek Gaurav or me myself, I'm doing in my write-ups, I'm providing the solutions for sustainable development goals. How can we have a creative society and a sustainable society in the future? So yes, there is a lot of possibility of happening the change that we want to see. And young minds like you and me are on the same platform today. So we will find in the future also there will be many like us on the same platform, contributing their innovative ideas or any ideas on the future, for sustainable development goals. So yes, India has a bright future in terms of sustainable development goals.
Okay, so Ramya, we are almost at the end of our session. So my last question to you will be how you have managed so many things at a single time. Like people go nuts when we talk about multitasking. They were like, how can we do that? This is not a very gay. They just go like nuts. How calmly you have managed everything, and what is your advice to the audience who are just thinking about multitasking is something very impossible?
Yes, firstly, I would say it was difficult for me in the starting as well, because I started all this in my post graduation first semester, and people used to me call that, have I lost my nuts or what? What was I doing? Like, I'm not concentrating on my academic studies nor my usual test exams, or I used to do a lot of night work. I'm a night person, so I used to do a lot of midnight works on writing, researching, and contributing all the things. I used to woke up late and sleep in the class sometimes, because of tiredness and fatigueness I used to face after working late nights. It was difficult for me in the start. I would say that if you are working with so many organizations, it would really cost a lot of your health and your time management. You need to have a good schedule of work, when to do, what to do, how to do. Everything should be in a planned way. But when I started doing it, I didn't had any plan. I didn't know how to segregate all these things into a into a platter, and I was literally on no clue. Many of my friends were really scolding me in Tamil, Malayalam. I don't know. When I was in my Madras University, I have my friends from Tamil Nadu and other states, Kerala and everyone. So they used to scold me that what was I doing, in their local language. I used to not understand it, definitely. So it's like that, because they don't understand what was I doing, and even I'm not understanding what was I doing. So it takes time. Startingly, when you start slowly, it takes time for you to segregate everything, to manage, to create a timetable for yourself. But slowly, when I completed my first semester, with a lot of effort, after managing all these small things, I got to know that where should I focus less, where should I focus more, when to focus, and how to focus there. So once everything is clear, I got a clear timetable that this needs this much time of work to be done, this needs less time of work to be done. So that is the kind of thing that will you need to inculcate in yourself. This is a learning process, so it's not a one day thing. That I also got to know. I used to go, I used to lose nuts sometimes between my friends. Whenever they used to have party, I used to sit and write notes, because I used to not concentrate on the class. So I used to write notes in the midnight of the hostel. So it has really taken so much of my efforts, my health, and everything. But later, when I understood everything, I kind of managed. Now it's a piece of cake for me. After working with after working after 1 year, I got to know that this is a kind of very simple task for me to do. I'm really into, I love multitasking now. I can do it with even 10 more organizations with the same focus. So that needs to be in mind as well. You need to do the same focus of work with each and every organization you give up. You need to give your best for them. You cannot give 10% to one and 90% to other. Your credibility will be, judged there. So you need to be 100% in every organization you work with. So that's my only thing, that if you love doing multitasking, and if you love to contribute your work voluntarily more, it's not of a monetary purpose, I would say. It's from your heart that you want to contribute to your society, your nation, in nation building in one or the other way. You can do it. There is nothing like impossible. For me, it's definitely not, because you can take my example. I came from a, failing my 12th maths boards to now, doing all this stuff. It's really possible. You can do it as well. No kind of jadoo, mantra, tonas, nothing is used in here. It's a normal. It's not impossible as well.
Okay, so that was a very wonderful session with you, Ramya. The three things that I learned today during this session is: first, it's okay to fail, and your failure should be your learning stone. Second, you have to be very patient when if you want to do something, you have to be very patient. And third, you have to believe in yourself that yes, I can do it. So with that patience and with that learning, you have to have the belief that you can do it. So thank you so much, Ramya, for joining with us today. And it was indeed a very beautiful session. Thank you so much for the audience. Stay tuned to the page of Humans of Mitti Ke Rang. We will be back with another episode of podcast series. Till then, have a safe day. Bye. Bye, Ramya.
Bye everyone. Bye.